This program is made possible by grants from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the National Endowment for the Arts, and Atlantic Richfield Company.
It has been said that nature is God's greatest creation, and that music is man's. Here in the clear, dry air of Aspen, Colorado, 7,800 feet above sea level, the great creations of man and God meet at the Aspen Music Festival. Here for 26 summers, student and master have been coming to learn from nature and each other, and to teach what they have learned, for that is man's unique ability, to pass on what he has learned. And that is what this program is about. As we watch Itzhak Perlman, Pinchas Zuckerman, Misha Dichter and Sidney Harth, Samuel Lipman, John Cerminaro, Sergiu Commissiona, and the students and faculty of the Aspen Music School in Music from Aspen. It is Sunday morning. This afternoon, this tent will be filled with people from all over the country listening to a concert by one of the festival's two orchestras. But for now, it is almost empty, except for two prestigious auditors, the violinist Isaac Stern and the violin teacher Dorothy DeLay. On the stage, concert violinist Itzhak Perlman, violist Pinchas Zuckerman, and Los Angeles Philharmonic principal cellist Ronald Leonard rehearse the Mozart Divertimento in E-flat for performance tomorrow. It is a typical Aspen scene: the sunny day, the empty tent, the musicians concentrating on their work but not without pleasure and some lightness of spirit.
Right after Ron. I hear too much of you and not enough of Ronnie. Okay. Bum, 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 I get da 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 da. Exactly.
That's what I have.
But that's, yes, but that's... No, but you should come down.
What's the matter with your C-Street? Go on, play those rock.
Done. Go ahead.
Too much of an accent.
This is the 5th year we're here. Dorothy DeLay was my teacher. She was pushing me, you see. And she was going there too. That was the first year, I think, that she was coming here. So I said, okay, I'll come for 2-3 days, play the concert and see how it is. And we came, and the first 5 minutes, we said, why 3 days? And we were so flabbergasted and so impressed by the whole thing. Just by the country. We're not even talking about the festival or anything like that. And this year I'm staying 8 weeks. And next year we're already mourning because we're not going to be able to be here more than 6 weeks because we're going to Japan. So that's the way it is. It's like they say, you got the fever.
Perlman's fever translates itself into giving concerts, teaching master classes, and plenty of trout fishing. And of course, rehearsing.
I don't think that an artist should stop ever being a student. That doesn't mean that one should go and have lessons, but it means that self-criticism and criticism from friends is, I feel, very, very important. Dorothy DeLay comes to some of my concerts when I play in New York. And if she feels that some things are not going so well, she would say so. I know that she would. The festival is a very, very unusual combination of things. Like the first thing that comes to mind, Ravinia, Tanglewood, so on and so forth. It's different because the festival here has the emphasis on the school first, and then on the concerts later. This year the orchestras are fabulous, absolutely incredible. I just can't believe it that you have an orchestra that you gather in a few days, and that somehow the sound would be so gelled, so wonderful.
It is, of course, not just Perlman who is enthusiastic about Aspen's music. On Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the tent is often full to overflowing, and the audience's pleasure is contagious for performers and for students. But the nature of the Aspen experience is unique, one which the audience can only dimly appreciate. Gordon Hardy, Executive Vice President of the festival and Dean of the Music School, has attended every concert here for 14 years. To him and to many others, the special quality of Aspen is derived not just from the performances in this tent, but from the relationship between student, teacher, nature, and the performances. George Mester, musical director of the festival, a former student here, puts it this way.
For me, Aspen is a place where the students and the faculty come together on a very intimate basis. This is a festival that combines the high professionalism of the students with the years of experience of the faculty, and they work together to produce the festival events. And so that's what makes this place different from any other festival. What we try to give people who come here to work is a sense of wonder. You have the guest artists, you have the faculty here who give transcendental performances. And even if a person from Iowa or from New York City have one experience that makes them transcend their own selves, that justifies the existence of Aspen.
I drove from Indianapolis, and just seeing the first time a snow-capped mountain was just, I'd always seen it in pictures, and to see it in real life and to even go up on one of the mountains and look at the snow in June was just so amazing and like a fairy tale to me. I just couldn't believe it.
I just came to Aspen 3 years ago on Sunday morning, very early, and flew in from Washington, D.C. and just was really struck by the beauty of the places.
The altitude makes the air very thin. The first week, you're gasping for air, you can't hold out the phrases. You can feel it, you can feel yourself get winded. But after about 2 weeks, you start becoming adjusted. Your air and your breathing gets a lot better. Milers, runners come up here to train, so when they go back down the mountain, they can breathe that much better.
Away from the tent, away from the overcrowded, expensive town, in a grove of quaking aspen trees near a noisy brook, is the music school.
I think that in the past year, something must have happened not only to me, but to the people who are here, the young people who are here, because there's a sense of concentration and dedication that I've never seen before.
There are no distractions other than musical ones if you want to be a musician. With everybody, the playing and the practicing comes first, always.
Remember the first year, there were like 450 students here, and now I think there are over 700, and I can see it, see it grow, and competition is really growing, and it forces you to work really hard, and I think that's great for anybody who really wants to go into music.
The competition shows up in the struggle to get a good orchestra assignment. For the festival orchestra, which has about 50% students, for the chamber symphony, which also performs for paying audiences and has about 90% students of top caliber, and for the Philharmonia, the all-student orchestra which performs 3 times a summer in the tent. The competition is keen for this orchestra because it works under top conductors. This week, under Sergiu Commissiona, the musical director of the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra, and a frequent guest conductor of the Festival Orchestra at Aspen. The skilled, seasoned Commissiona, who has conducted major orchestras around the world, working with the young students, many of whom will one day play in some of the same orchestras. More evidence of the unique Aspen experience. That Maestro Commissione exacts from them much of the same discipline he requires from larger professional bodies is evident as we watch excerpts from the Philharmonia's rehearsal of the last movement of Brahms' Second Symphony. The concert is tomorrow afternoon. We'll return to this rehearsal several times to judge its progress, as a major conductor works with a student orchestra at this unique American festival.
expressive. You are doing so well, but it sounds too nervous, too agitato. It should be very tranquilo. Please. Wow. Very good, thank you. Very good. All the pizzicati, 4 bars before C. I'm making a slight ritenuto, 1 before C. Tim pump, you have nothing to play, so don't try this. The pizzicati, 4 bars before C. 1, 2, 1. Thank you. C is a slightly slower tempo, being largamente, and the first quarter note is even 2 downs, long tempo, and give much more sound, more Brahms. Don't shave it to more beer. C, please. Brahms sound. Depth, depth. You are rushing, ta-tam. Tempo, give time, tom, pim. C. Thank you. Letter D, please. Everyone, please, look at D for the strings. On the string to have much more marcato, to have more the sforzandi, please. Look after D, the 5th measure, please. It's only mezzo forte, leggero top 10. Papam, 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 papam. Tatara, papa, pepe, to have this more. Letter D, everyone. D. I can't have a big marcato and forte for the string if you are playing like this. Ta ta ri ta da ta. Put all the 4 fingers on your bow, please, and more stiff to have the sforzandi on the string, not leggero. And more the sforzandi, please. Tam ti ta ri ra ra ri rim. D. Strings, please. 1, 1, 4. Nearly good, but still is good. Ya pa pa pe pe. The pickup is not together. Ta 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 ta. Fra pa pa pa. Ya pa pa pe 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 pa pe pe. 1, 2. It sounds too late for trumpets, please. More marcato horns. 1, 2, and. Thank you. 114, please, everyone. And. Thank you. Thank you. Letter E, the pizzicati have been very stiff and very hard. May have a vibrato like a little glockenspiel. Lim, pom, pom, pom. You are doing wonderful, but don't let me fight for everything so hard. More nobility, please. Much more sound. Vibrando, please. And.
Strings are the core of every orchestra, so it is not surprising that here in Aspen, there are over 200 students of various stringed instruments. One hears them everywhere, from the hills, by the streams, in the woods. One way to improve your violin playing, of course, is by listening to good players. Sidney Harth, concertmaster of the Los Angeles Philharmonic, has been playing, conducting, and teaching at Aspen for years, giving younger string players an opportunity to watch and learn. We found him at the home of noted pianist Mischa Dichter, rehearsing Beethoven's Sonata No. 7, a rare treat for Aspen chamber music audiences.
I slow up a little there, okay?
No, that's fine. That's a nice close.
Because, well, I do it for safety's sake, because after that, it's hard as hell. The 16's for me.
All right.
So.
For all.
Okay.
All right. Should we do 4 before those 16th notes?
Yeah. Or 3 is enough.
All right.
Yeah. Spot. I'm sorry to stop, but in certain editions I have forte piano, like the first time.
Yeah.
But you don't have it in this edition.
I don't have that. I trust this edition.
Okay. You know, it's funny. I like Schirmer. I found Schirmer to be very, very faithful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know they have these Urtex now and all that baloney. Okay.
As long as we're stopped
Yeah.
in the development section,
Yeah.
I'd like to make more clear the fact that there's 6 measure phrases.
I was going to ask you about that. You know, it's just a matter of I cannot really be as faithful as you on these. I have to drop a little before that. But if you carry through, I don't think it'll matter so much.
Yeah, I have the crescendo right.
Yes, it goes to there. You're absolutely right. Just on a string instrument, I think it's a little, it's a kvetch, what I call it, you know, choked.
Yeah. Well,
So
then I
I-
can do it more in context of the piano that the whole thing is in, or pianissimo. Maybe I'm making a bit much of that.
It's okay. Let's try it.
Right from the E flat?
Yeah.
The measure before?
Yeah. That's about all I can do. Did you wait for me there? Yes, I did. Yeah, the funniest darn thing, because you know the notes come out backwards from the beat for me there. I always get it. Just
Of course,
fraction behind.
because it sounds like the downbeat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I just count like a Trojan there, but I guess I was too soon.
No, I waited because I thought you'd like
Too
to take
late.
a bit of a break before.
Oh, I'm just trying to fit into the
Oh,
beat.
okay. I thought we were both being musical there.
Maybe that's the best way. All right, let's do it right
well,
there.
that's the same thing, really. From
Maybe the bar
113.
usually.
Yeah. Right.
The two bars then.
Not everyone can study with Sidney Hart. After all, there are 150 violin students at Aspen. There are, however, 10 other violin teachers, many of them distinguished. One of these is Dorothy DeLay. We eavesdropped on a class of hers with an invited audience. The object, to solve the problems of performance. We heard Eric Wyrick play from the Prokofiev Violin Concerto, and later, Joe Swenson play from the Paganini. Here are excerpts.
M. Sorry. You are giving too much ta ta ra, ta ta ta. You work too hard here. When you have a place here, ta pa pa ti ra ra ri pa. Directly 289. Nice. Everyone letter O, please. Please play 371 much more marcato on pim pam pam. Same place. Very good, very fine, very good.
It is no mean accomplishment to play wind instruments at an altitude of nearly 8,000 feet, where normal mortals take days to acclimatize just to walking, much less blowing through 12 feet of brass tubing. So it is no surprise that in a little alpine house on the edge of town, John Cerminaro, another former Aspen student, now solo French horn with the New York Philharmonic and an Aspen teacher, spends much of his time on matters of breathing. He works with Robin Graham, a student, and one of the horn players in the Chamber Symphony.
And the piano, and I think that this first phrase should be played very simply, and here, then you break into this expression, but this very simply, the piano is with you, and very, very together. This place, you can toss those off like in the Schumann concert show. Ya la da 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 ya da 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 ti da. And you're going to have to make a decision on, yeah, and I think the breath should come here, after this G. And you know, as awkward as it is, I usually catch a quick one from myself right here.
Yeah.
And you can take one here if you want to, but it has to be quick. You don't want to break the rhythm. And your 16th notes, a little more accentuated. This breath is really risky. If you take a breath there, the chances of cracking the next note, I mean, that's why I think you have to take one here, right before this A flat, and then you've got to snatch one here. Well, try it there. The allegro. Now catch this beginning. Watch my hands. Right.
Toss them off. Right. And you know, one thing that'll help is if you start softer here. When you play you'll have enough breath then, I think. Naturally, we're at an 8,000-foot altitude. It has something to do with it, but still... It's a danger because the next note is A flat, second, third. There's a good chance, or second, depending on your choice of it. Quick one, and then here you really have to. This crescendo is deceptive. When you see it staring you in the face, you start too soon. By the time you get to double forte, there's nothing left to go over the top.
I find this breath here risky because of coming in on that, you know, taking a breath and then reattacking.
Yes, but the question is, where do you want to take the risk, here or there? This is more risky. You take it there. This is more natural.
Yeah.
If you were a cellist playing this piece, and sometimes cellists do playing it, that's where you would play. And there's where you can take it. Otherwise, you're at the top of the phrase, but the main thing is conserve it here, and then by the time you perform this at sea level, you'll be fine.
It should be better, yeah.
Yeah. Well, try it once. I think try from the beginning of the allegro with these breathing marks and make yourself stick to it. Take this one after the G.
Okay.
All right? Set. Your pianist ready? Right. Right. Now easy. Yeah.
It's still just barely making it. I'd have to really...
You know where you're losing time? This bar. You're losing time because you're now in an effort to make the rhythm exactly right with accentuation. You lose time. And that extra, what, half a second or second is what you need in breath later on. And you know the direction of the phrases. This is what is going to help you also. And just practically drop the dot. So you grab your breath there. The note is really just hit the note. Once again. Set. Now lessen the volume. Build. Go on. Now this can be a relaxing for the lip here. Easy. And save it here. Now the sound. You were going to need that breath. If you don't take it, you'll never make it. You just have to, you've got to cut this note short.
I needed a beat and a half before I get there.
What can I tell you, kid?
In addition to the large number of orchestral players, there are voice students, harmony students, composition students, conducting and chamber music students and teachers, and the pianists, a large group. One of them, Marilyn Engel, a teacher at the University of Calgary, but here a student, finds herself on a sunny afternoon in a two-car garage converted to a two-piano garage. Her teacher, yet another former Aspen student, is concert pianist Samuel
Because there's a
Lippman.
whole tradition
The subject, Beethoven's famous
people
sonata
worrying
opus
about
110.
the beginning of this piece, which is so terribly hard, so they worry about it, and then they come out on the stage and they communicate all of that worry to the audience. However worried we are, it's no one else's business. Right.
Lippman has played with major orchestras and as a recitalist since the age of 8. He's considered by many to be not only a fine musician, but an intellectual about the world of music. He thinks carefully about the role of teacher and about the effect the Aspen atmosphere has upon that teacher.
Now, as you play here, we have to hear that marvelous bass line. Start from the second line. Let me hear that wonderful bass line, A flat, B flat. He must realize that when he plays on Sunday, he must meet his students who have heard him on Monday. Now, I think it's an open secret that not all performances go equally well. So one is in the position of very often seeing students who might very well have done something, one hopes only an isolated part, but still, might have done something as well or even better than one had done it the day before. In any case, it's a peculiar aspect of life in Aspen. We see more and more, and we see further and further into the background of the stage. So you begin that second line, and it's still very quiet, and then it opens out, and finally, by the time you have the G flat and the bass, there's a certain glory, a certain transfiguration of friendship. That's better. But I still feel that you're a little bit the prisoner of all of those notes. I would like to feel that it's perfectly flexible, that you play all, I'd like to feel that you play all of those wonderful notes absolutely in time, not because they're written in time, but because you want to play them that way. I would like to feel that it's natural, that it's correct, not that it's just correct. The merely correct is not very interesting. Once more. That's it. I think what a teacher does depends not only upon the teacher, but it depends very greatly on the student. It depends upon the aspirations and the talent of the student. That's it. Now, in the left hand, a little bit up. Again. And then we must arrive back at the theme as if it's a great surprise, but one that we knew would happen all the time. That's right. I don't feel that you are absolutely confident yet in that place with all of the extra instructions I've loaded on. You see, it's that progression. We had it here. Then we had it here. Then we had it here. with, of course, some alterations to decorate the line, but the principle remains the same. And finally, we have it here. It's such an odd question of why Beethoven decided at the end of his life to have fugues in every piece he wrote. This is perhaps the most gentle of those fugues. If you think of the fugue of the Opus 101, or if you think of course, the fugue of the Hammerklavier or the Grosse Fuge, then you realize that these are heaven-storming fugues. This is not. This is the gentlest use of fugal method. And just let those notes sit there. Try it once more. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You must keep it down. That's right. More. You have to begin to bring in the voices now. You don't get louder, you just bring in voices. Now we get louder. But I didn't hear your fugue subject begin in the left hand. That's it. More. That's it. And we have to try to keep the audience listening to everything. The audience. That's it. Come on. Now in the left hand. Yes, I can tell all those years of playing Bach have done lots of good. That's it. Now. But not slower just because it's bigger. That's it. This you must make as pitiful as you can. Not with any motions of your body. You must sit absolutely still. And one mustn't hear anything come from the piano that one could call notes, only melody. That's it. Shh. This is a kind of pitiful music written by a man who could conquer being sorry for himself. He didn't always conquer it, but he conquered it when he wrote music. More. That's it. And these D's now.
The weather shifts, as it does every summer day in Aspen. Rain clouds gather, but the practicing goes on. In motel rooms, in groves, in special practice rooms scattered among the aspen trees. And in the music hall on campus, Sergiu Commissiona prepares to take the Philharmonia through a last rehearsal of Liszt's Les Préludes before its performance tomorrow. The oncoming afternoon rains mirror the music, and the light glinting off Commissiona's hands show once again the visual artistry of conducting. It is a fitting conclusion to one part of the story of the Aspen experience.
This program was made possible by grants from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the National Endowment for the Arts, and Atlantic Richfield Company.